Hey, my name is Gertie, and today what we're going to do is we're going to dive into how we help the brand make over 100K on Amazon and Shopify. So, without further ado, we're going to jump into it. Now, this is going to be a screenshot of quickly what I'm going to share with you. However, I believe this page might cancel out my video, so I just want to make sure you guys get to see my face. And now let's jump into it. Okay, so this long diagram, oh cool, my face is there. Okay, so this long diagram is really two different sections. And we've divided each section into its own particular parts to help explain what we've been doing and how we're going to continue to grow this brand way beyond its current status. But it's split into two different things. So in order to make over $100,000 a month for this brand using e-commerce only, we've divided it into two different portions. We have Shopify, which is going to be on this side, and we have Amazon, which is going to be on this side. Now, this brand is able to do, I believe, 90K on Amazon, closer to 100K on Amazon, and then over 100K on Shopify as well. However, using this combination is how we originally got to this point. So originally when this brand started working with us, we started with Amazon, right? Amazon is kind of like the go-to place to buy anything. It's easy to scale, or it's faster to scale, but it doesn't give you the most amount of profits. So it's a good way for people to kind of get introduced to your brand and then push them onto Shopify in order to create more long-term profits and just be able to have the customer's data. There are a few different things when it comes to Amazon that you need to do to have a good listing. The first thing is always going to be your SEO, your bullet points, title, and your product description, and arguably your actual images themselves. So depending on what you want to focus on first, I would say start with your images. Your images is actually what gets people to convert. 60% of all shopping is going to be done on mobile. So when people click on your listing, they're actually going to see the images before they read any of your text, other than the title point, or the title, of course. So let's jump into images and what we did and the ideology behind them. This is going to include their product display pictures, but also their A+ content. So their main listing, which is this right here, is really simple. We sell it in a 2-pack, and the reason being is each individual pack sells for about $12. However, with Amazon's margins, running ads, and ads just getting more expensive over time, we decided to do a 2-pack on Amazon. There is no singular SKU sold by the brand on Amazon, and the 2-pack allowed us to double our units of sale, but also increase our average order value. This increased the aggressiveness that we're allowed to be with our ads and Amazon, and it's really hard to be unprofitable on Amazon if you're under a $20 value. So with this, we have a $23.99 price point, I believe, $23.98 perhaps. And the first image is really simple. Everything that we want to show is right here. You know you're going to get 2 packs if you click on this, and you know you're getting pancakes. Even though the pancakes are there, this little image on the side drastically improved the amount of clicks we're actually getting. It's the exact same image, just on the side. Now, your first image, the only purpose of it is when you go on Amazon and you see a bunch of different items that pop up after your keyword search, is to be able to stand out against all the other listings. There's going to be 50 per page. So we want to make sure when people see us, we look more appealing than anyone else that's on there. So that's it. The name of the game of the first image is to get the click, get the initial person to jump on our listing, and then go through the rest of our images to kind of convince themselves to buy. So secondary images are there to kind of improve the conversion rate. It's there to convince the customer that this is the product that they need. And we use a simple formula. We show off the product, and then we show off the main features. So everything that you'd want to know, and this is a protein pancake, so we're kind of niching down to people that are interested in being health conscious, getting more protein in their diet, just eating better. So we included everything that someone might need to understand what this product is and how it works within one image. You have your 23 grams of protein, which is our biggest call out. You can see it's on the packaging, and 1 gram of sugar. So that's the first two things that we included there. It has 7 grams of fiber, which is a great fact as well. And once we get to the title point, or the title, you'll see that we included that in the listing as well. It's made with flaxseed, which might be something that helps a lot of people that are in this industry understand what's actually in here. Sweetened with monk fruit, and then all you have to do is add water. Then we have this cool little call out at the bottom that just says, meet your perfect pancake mix. Simple, but really effective. The next thing is nutrition facts. Now, a lot of brands, what they do is they just take a picture of the back and they upload that. That looks really cheap, and it's sometimes hard to read. What we did here is we just took a render of what the actual nutrition facts are, added the packaging on the sides, and put buttermilk at the top. Really simple, really easy, really clean, and you can read it without no problem. If you're on your phone and you need to zoom into any of the macros, you can do that. Right here is a lifestyle picture. You want to show someone actually using your product or enjoying it, and we did it in a really simple way. The same we had at the top, we put right here. Now, obviously, if you have a bigger budget or you're looking to revamp your creatives, you can definitely put this in more of an action scene, maybe in a kitchen of someone cooking the pancakes or serving the pancakes, enjoying them. We took this easy, simple route, and it worked out really well for us. Once again, here, another lifestyle image, just makes everything look really nice and clean. Now, what you could do is add more facts on the side, take this space, maybe introduce some of the other flavors that you have, but we kept it nice and simple, and it's worked out really well for us. This is one of my favorite things, and we love doing this for almost every brand that we work with, is a comparison chart. Typically, if someone's a new to brand customer, they're going to be shopping around. So we want to show them what else is available and why we're better. This avoids anyone clicking on, let's say, another sponsored ad that may be on our page or looking up other options. If we give them all the options available and we just show them why we're better, we have a higher chance of converting. Now, you can see there are some that have a little bit of a higher maybe total amount of flavors, but anything that's actually important, or when you add up everything together, you can see that our product is easily the winner. The next thing we're going to do is the A+ content. Now, here we kept it once again really simple because the branding is really strong. We took the main image of all the different flavors available that are going to be on Amazon or their Shopify. There are some that we kind of release, and we'll jump into that when we come on Shopify as like limited time offers. But for Amazon, we kind of keep it to our core offerings and maybe our best sellers. So on Amazon, you're able to find buttermilk, which is their key or their hero product, vanilla, chocolate, and I believe birthday cake. The rest we've removed. We don't see enough profits coming from them, and it doesn't make sense to carry there. Anyone that wants them is going to be happy to buy them on our website. Here, we just have a couple information pieces on our top selling flavors: vanilla, birthday cake, buttermilk, chocolate. Nice little simple image that breaks down everything available. So even though we don't have all of this in our first 6 or 7 images, we carry it down with our A+ content. And we made all of these scrollable, so Amazon's algorithm can pick up some of these keywords when someone's looking for your item, or when they're on this page, it connects with the search that they may be typing at the top. Show them the team there, show the happy family there, and then once again, all the nutrition facts in case someone wants to compare them really quickly. And let's say they want the extra gram of protein within chocolate, they can now choose chocolate as well. Down here, we have all the different options to actually add these products to your cart. This is really simple and easy to build the bigger average cart value for yourself, because everything's right here and they can just press add to cart. Some of these don't have the buy box in Canada, which is something that we're working to fix. I believe these two are actually active as of today, which is June 30th at 6:45 Toronto time. We broke down all the different things that are available, and we didn't want to use any of our competitors here because here you actually can add them to your cart. So we just compare all of our products to each other, and this way anyone that's looking to choose different flavors or different offerings, if you have other variations, they can read and get a quick little glimpse of what's available. And this way, if they're jumping from listing to listing, you're not being charged again for any of those clicks because they're organically on your page. Then going down, we have this cool feature at the bottom. This is actually something that you'd click on these arrows here to be able to see all the different images. So once again, it's all the different offerings that we have. We've included our mug cakes here. This was a new product launch that we did, and we didn't really want to change too much on the listing itself. So we got to add it down to this portion here. And as you scroll, you'd be then taken to this page that talks a little bit more about the history of the brand, or the story behind the brand, the ingredients, the protein content, just more information that would help kind of start a conversation or continue to convince the actual buyer of the product of why this is the right brand for themselves. And we can go further and further, and it had just a little bit more information. We're able to squeeze in our protein mug cakes as well. And that's pretty much it for our product display. Most of the products for this listing or for this brand, they will follow a similar, I'd want to say, blueprint for what we've done with the A+ content and the actual images themselves, just swapping out the flavors and ingredients and macros when needed. Cool. So that's what we have in terms of images. Let's scroll to the top and start checking out what we did with their actual content when it comes to SEO, bullet points, and product description. So the first thing you want to start with is your title. And we've come up with this formula that works pretty well for CPG brands. So with Flourish, what we do is we introduce the brand, we introduce what the the product category is, feature 1, feature 2, feature 3, the flavor, the sizing, and then a cool little fact or localization that's been working really well ever since the tariff situation. And that formula is right here: the brand name, the product type, the feature, which is no added sugar, which may be a search someone's looking for. So snacks with no added sugar, pancakes with no added sugar, protein with no added sugar, etc., etc. Same thing with high in fiber. Just add water is just a call out that we have to make people kind of intrigued or jump into the listing if it's so simple. The flavor right down here, and we kind of organize our SEO in terms of how popular the search would be. Not too many people would actually look for buttermilk flavor, but they might look for original or regular flavor. And that's why it's a little bit lower, because we still want people to know what they're buying so they don't get confused. Here we have a 2-pack with the actual grams per bag in here. This way the consumer knows exactly what they're getting. And we did that a little bit further as well. And we get into like the product description part, where we've kind of swapped it out for the A+ content, but you'll see exactly what I'm talking about in just a minute. The next thing is the bullet points. And a lot of people mess this up because they actually use the bullet points to try to convince someone why this product is great. What we want to do is formulate it in a way where we look at all the high volume keywords or the high traffic keywords Amazon's getting that's related to our product and create bullet points based off of that. So stacked high in protein. High in protein is going to be a great keyword to search up. Grams of protein, we put 23, which is on average a higher end of any sort of snack or food product that you may be able to buy in like dried goods. This is on par with protein powder itself. So most people search up 20 to maybe 28 grams of protein. So this is going to fit perfectly in that umbrella. 6 grams of fiber, 0 added sugar, packed with whey protein. And you can see that whey protein, or the word protein, is actually carried out a lot because we want Amazon's algorithm to be able to pick it up as many times as possible on our listing. So we're shown at the top. And we did that throughout. So everything that we see as a feature, we've then expanded upon with heavy SEO traffic keywords that can push our listing to the top organically as well. Oh, and a great thing is use Helium 10 and your competitor listings to see what keywords they rank for, and you can see how much traffic they're getting, and then squeeze those into your bullet points. The next thing is your product description. And like I was talking about earlier, where we kind of changed how we have our product description with the A+ content, what we've actually used this for is Amazon's algorithm to make sure that our product is within regulations for Amazon system. So all of this information has to be extremely detailed and accurate to make sure that our product is under the rules and regulations of Amazon's shipping and whatever other situations they may have. So all of our weight, this is a combined weight of both of them. Serving sizes, when you can use this. Obviously, you can use this for your anniversary if you like. All the different ingredients, and making sure that we have everything right, because we did get in trouble at one point. I forget if it was flaxseed oil or there's one term that you can't use, which is really going to take down your listing. So make sure that everything here is accurate. And then any other things that you may want to know: allergens, who the manufacturer is, packaging information, etc., etc. And then obviously the ingredients are here as well. This is all technical information that we use to work with the A10 algorithm. Awesome. So that's pretty much it, right? When it comes to setting up your listing for Amazon, the next important thing is, and before you jump into this next part, make sure this is done down to a T. Start with your images. They're going to cost you more than SEO, because SEO you can do yourself. Unless you're a really good graphic designer, I would say outsource this to someone, but you can definitely design this yourself as well. Now that you have the, landing page for Amazon ready, you want to start bringing traffic there. And this is what we do when it comes to how to manage the traffic on the actual account. So you can see that the ACoS here for this year has been about 25%, which for some brands is a little high. And what we actually use ads for is to draw a lot of traffic to the actual listing itself. So 25% might sound high, but that's just your ad sales. Because we have a CPG good product or a consumable product, we're not focused so much on the first sale. We're focused on the lifetime value of a customer. And to figure that out, what we did is we take our total sales that we're generating divided by what we're spending on ads, and we set at a 12% tacos. Now, this is for Canada, and I'd love to show you these numbers, but due to NDAs we have with the brand, I can't give you exact figures of what they're performing. They're comfortable with giving up these numbers, and these have been a drastic improvement since they started working with us. You can see what they were doing last year in terms of the brand and what we are able to kind of do after our revamp. So they started with us in March, and it's been growing ever since. And now that we got the buy box issues fixed, it should continue scaling. And I guess you guys can kind of see how much we're generating with this chart right here. But as we scroll down, you can see that we're sitting about 25% in Canada, and then even in the States, we're around the same. This was just launched recently. As you can see, we didn't really pay a lot of attention to it last year. This is the first year we're actually trying to take US Amazon serious. And because it's just recently launched, our top cost is a little bit higher. In terms of sales, they're close to 20K a month in sales. So we're drastically trying to grow this brand really quickly on Amazon because it's a lot of top of funnel customers. People coming to Amazon, they trust Amazon to buy a little bit more because they have all their information. They can do 2-day free shipping, etc., etc. You can mix in a bunch of different brands together and get one big package. So the goal here is to use Amazon to get people to try the product for the first time and then come to the website for any future purchases to increase the overall value that the brand sees. Amazon's great in terms of getting people to buy, but it's really expensive to use in terms of the Amazon fees and the advertising fees. Most brands might have to give up 50% of your margin. And if your cost of goods are 40%, including all your shipping and everything, you're left with 10%, which is really hard to just grow on, right? So if you sell an item for $25 and your profit is 10%, that means you're making $2.50 per bag. And you'd have to sell a lot of bags in order to reach 100K to the point where it's actually profitable for you. So that's how we see Amazon as a really top of funnel metric to push people to try the product for the first time. And then what we want to do is we want them to join our Shopify. Shopify is always going to be more profitable. You're going to get customer data. You can then get emails, and there's a whole slew of things that you can do once you get the emails. Okay, so with Shopify, there's a lot more going on. There's a lot more moving pieces. It's a lot more complex, which is obvious why it's a little bit more profitable. There's a lot more effort and energy that goes into it. So there's going to be a few different categories that we discussed today, and this is not everything that we've done. It's what was necessary to get to that first 100K. There's obviously a slew of other things that you can do. This is mainly what we did to get to that point. So with Shopify, we'll start with emails here, even though it's second. So email capturing is going to be one. They kind of connect together, so your email flows and your email captures. Improving your cart value, and I'll zoom in a little bit just so it's easier to read. So how to improve your cart value, what we did with Google Ads, what we did with meta ads, and then ultimately how creatives play a factor in all of this. So we'll start down here with let's start with emails. I think emails is the best place to go. So when you set up your account and we connect it with Klaviyo, you want to make sure that you have the basic flow set up. So anything for checkout abandonment, this is going to be the email that follows up when someone adds the product to the cart, and they haven't checked out or they haven't put in their billing information, but we have their email from whatever campaign that we've set up, or maybe they've signed up for the newsletter, whatever it may be. But we have triggers that connect an email that's put the product in their cart, but they never checked out. They're going to get hit with a bunch of different emails over a time period that reminds them that the product is there. And after a while, let's say it's been like a week or two and there's been no movement, maybe we email them a discount code to just finish that transaction. Some money coming in is better than no money coming in. So that's your checkout. Then you have your browser abandonment, your welcome flow. So when people first sign up for our email newsletter, they're getting hit with a few different emails. Post-purchase email, following up for reviews, making sure that they like the product, sending them a reminder in 30 days after they might have used the product to see if they want to try some other flavors. This was actually a pre-sale that we launched, and I'll jump into that as well. We also have the quiz. So when someone's kind of completed a quiz, some follow-up emails to make sure that they're happy with the results that they got and maybe offer a discount for the products that match what their answers from the quiz were. So that's your email flows summarized really quickly. Now, obviously, the more things that you have going on your website, the more communication you can have depending on what sort of flows you want to set up. But these are kind of like the main ones that you should have: a welcome flow, a browse abandonment, a checkout abandonment, and a post-purchase follow-up. And then if you have any of these plugins, these are great to have as well. And then this is actually called a sunset one. So let's say someone's kind of signed up for your email list. They bought once in a while, but they haven't bought in maybe 60 to 90 days. This is kind of like a sunset, which is, the customer's not out of your brand yet, but they're on their way out. So what can we do to kind of reel them in and maybe make them re-engage with some of the products that we have? So that covers emails. Now, how do you actually get people's emails? This is kind of like the name of the game when it comes to ads and growing your Shopify. So we do a few different things. Some other websites like AG1, I'll probably have a presentation on that soon as well, of how they do it. But we have this quick little pop-up for any time it's like a new visitor to our website and they haven't accepted the cookies or they haven't given us their email. Sign up really quickly, even with your text messages, right? So we can text people and say, hey, look, here's a 10% discount. You haven't bought in a while. And this works really well because it's relatively cheap and not a lot of brands do it because they don't think it works. And we've spent $700 and made 15 grand in a day with a new product launch with. So this is really good to get people's phone numbers to text them. We also have an email one that you can kind of close this and then on your way out, you get an email pop up. We have the quiz, which is down here. So if you want to match your perfect flavor or maybe create a bundle, 2 minutes to find out the perfect pancake breakfast for you. Quick and easy. We have some triggers that once they click on, let's say, certain things that affect their allergies, we're removing some of the SKUs that they're going to be shown at the end of it, and then they're offered a discount to buy. And then we have the referral program. So if you sign up, you can now, for every person that you refer, you get a certain amount of discount off. And all of these things are designed just to capture emails. Another cool thing that we do, and this is going to lead back into one of the last sections or the creative section, is anytime we have a new launch coming out or a seasonal item like the protein pumpkin spice mix is only limited time offer, I believe, from August to maybe November. We do a pre-sale, right? So anyone that signs up is going to get a buy one, get one free offer. This allows us to get new customers that have never bought from us to join our email list. And from there, if we can get maybe 10, 15,000 people to sign up and we get a 1% conversion rate, 150 new customers that might buy from us over the year. Typically on emails, we have a higher conversion rate because you're only signing up if you actually want the discount. So it can be anywhere from 10 to 30% of people that sign up on this list that actually convert. Your offer needs to be good. And prior to this, we tested a few other ones. We found that this one worked the best for their brand. And now we run with it whenever we have a new product launch. Cool. So that's 1 and 2. That's just collecting emails. Now let's jump into what we actually do with. We can go into Google and Meta ads, and then I'll jump into cart value last because only a few brands are actually going to be at this position for this to make a drastic jump. So for Google ads, what we did was we initiated Google Shopping. So you can see that Healthy Planet is one of the brands that we wholesale to, but our website is going to be right here. Now, this is a little difficult to compete with because Healthy Planet controls their own pricing, and they can launch sales whenever they like. But when they're not on sale, our product is always going to be the first one there because it is naturally from the brand. So we typically have our brand running the first section, and then we'll have Amazon afterwards if they don't trust the brand just yet. And we tested a bunch of different headlines and descriptions here, and this has been the best performer. We usually test them in bundles of 4, so we swap out 2 different headlines, 2 different summaries right here, descriptions right here, and we find the one that works best, and we continue to run that. And then in the background, we'll start creating some other variations to see what else would work in the future. This works really well if we're going to launch, let's say, seasonal products or limited time offers to increase our ranking overall. Google isn't, I would say, the best or the most important place to focus your energy when it comes to CPG brands. I prefer Meta ads because food, if you go to any high-end restaurant, the one thing the chef always says is you taste with your eyes first. So we always try to make our Meta ads where we can have a lot of images look really appealing and really engaging. So we'll do things like user-generated content on Instagram of, let's say, someone that's popular. So this person had a run club, and she was now a sponsored athlete by Flourish. We're able to kind of launch ads that support her cause, and then in return, she's making content. We'll run the ads on her behalf, which increases her following, but it also allows us to create more sales because now the brand is recognized with that athlete as well. We'll do things like this, which is a limited time offer, which when people click on this, they're sent to that original page to sign up with their email. So not every single one of these ads actually needs to be a conversion ad. This is a high level awareness ad, which is actually step before a step, right? So people are going to find this ad, click on this ad to sign up for a pre-sale that eventually gets to them maybe a month later, but the anticipation has been building. So before we actually launch the flavor, we'll send out like a reminder campaign of cool creatives or a launch date of what's been going on. And then the next day is when we have the sale. And that way, everyone that's kind of engaged with the product before, they're excited about it all again, and they're able to buy the next day. And that helps us with really big launches. This is another ad that we might run when we find out, let's say for our brand specifically, it is a breakfast item. How can we compare what we have to the typical breakfast? And depending on your target demographic with each different ad, this works really well. Like this ad will perform really well with moms or even fathers because it kind of is more geared toward how we can help children improve their morning routine with our product. And then lastly, this is kind of like one of the ads that we had for the pre-sale. Really simple, buy one, get one free, buy one bag of our limited time strawberry shortcake and get another one free. Here's what the bag looks like. Here's what the actual item when it's cooked will look like. Cool little graphic in the back, and then obviously the button to click, go to our website, which has the landing page, which they can sign up for. And then obviously any disclaimers that you need to put. So that's Meta ads and Google ads in a sense. And all of that falls under our creative branch. So creating the website, creating the ads, creating the titles or the Google headlines and descriptions as well. And then obviously this brand has a really good team internally. So what they'll do is they'll provide us with cool things like this. And then we'll put the keywords on top that we need for ads. So the buttons down here, like join now, they were able to provide us with this really cool background. And then we can kind of just morph it however we need. Anytime we have this running, and you'll see this in the basic kind of increase your average cart value. But if we have specials going on the website, we want to run ads. And here you can see it's a shop now. So this is for lower down the funnel that we want to push people to actually convert. Awesome. Okay. So next we're going to have, thing I forgot. And hopefully Andrew doesn't get too mad that I forgot about him. But this is kind of like the founder video that I love doing because it lets you be a little bit more personal with the brand. You're not just buying from a big box like the Oreo company or the Coca-Cola company. You're buying from a person that's actually trying to make a connection with you and why they started the brand. And this works really well because you're now building a relationship with the brand outside of then just a product. Like you're getting to meet the people, understand who the people are, and people buy from people. So if they trust Andrew, they're going to be able to trust his product, which is going to be able to create more sales for himself. Cool. So the last step on our tour is going to be how to improve the cart value. And this is a really big key when you have a lot of traffic. If your website gets a lot of traffic, if it doesn't get a lot of traffic, improving your cart value by 5, 10, 15% is going to be pennies on the dollar. Now, if you have thousands and thousands of orders, going up in 4% on each one of these categories is drastically going to change. So for context, Flourish came in at around 30K. And by doing everything that we've just talked about today, plus these cart value tricks, now they're able to cross that 100K mark comfortably. So the first thing that we do is that free mug cakes offer. Like we talked about in our ad, if you go onto the website right now, you're going to see this pop up in the bottom right. And this incentivizes you to buy more items. So not only do you get free shipping, but you can also get 2 free mug cakes. And we'll swap this out once a month. So it might be a free bag of blueberry, it might be a free bag of X, it might be 2 mug cakes, etc., etc. Something that's really low cost, but it's just a nice gift to give. Quick little plugin that we have, and it increases value a lot. Post-purchase. This is great because now you can actually incentivize to increase the cart value again. You've already bought a lot of stuff. For this month, we're going to do blueberry. You can get blueberry at 10% off. You can try anything from 10% off, 20% off, 30% off. We've seen 20 and 30 work really well. Let's allow, put it into your post cart or your post-purchase cart and give it a 30% discount. It'll help convert. It'll get rid of some inventory, and you still get to make more money and increase your average cart value. So this is a really great thing to do. Now you can also chain these together. So if they add this one, then you can get an option for another one, which might be 40 or 50% off, but you don't want to make it too long. They've already purchased from you. Simple things like this keep the customer engaged, but it doesn't bombard them with too many things. Next thing is trust badges on your checkout page. This, though it doesn't seem like it's that important, it provides more confidence in a first-time buyer or anyone that's buying from you. If you're not satisfied, within 3 days, you get your money back. We have fast shipping, and you can track your order and secure payments to make sure that people trust you with giving your credit card information. Okay, and lastly, we're going to be the incentive to increase the cart value during checkout. Now, this one's really important because let's say they only add one item like I did here. We have this cool review at the top that talks about different flavor. So here we're talking about buttermilk, how people loved it, super great texture, highly recommend. And then we have this cool bar right here that says you're only a few dollars away from free shipping. Now that you're already at the checkout page, why not add some things to get the free shipping? But we'll also give you a discount if you add it at this section here. And this can drastically improve your overall cart value. The bigger your cart value, the bigger the average order value, the more profits you're going to see at the end of the day. And that's pretty much everything that you need to do. Besides, actually, this is actually really important and I almost missed it. Express checkout. So a lot of people on Shopify, brands that built their brand on Shopify, you should activate ShopPay. 1.5 million people use ShopPay because it already saves their information and allows them to check out quickly. I think 24% of all abandoned carts or checkout abandonment is because it takes too long to check out by filling in your information. The last thing you want to do is someone puts their email address where they're supposed to put their address. Then you got to email them back, wait for a correct address, and then ship it out. And that's a situation that's happened to us a few times. So by having ShopPay, PayPal, or GPay activated, they can check out really quickly and get the order into their hands. And more importantly, you can get the money in your hands. This is a great way to kind of just alleviate any concerns or remove any barriers of completing the checkout process. The last thing you want to do is get someone with a full cart that goes, I'm too lazy to fill all this out, and then you miss out the sale. So activating these three things is a great thing to do. Now, obviously, if you want any help setting any of this stuff up, or you want us to manage it and get your brand to this level, feel free to jump on our website, which is just discovermg.com. And you can see more of some of the brands that we worked with, and then ultimately book a call. There should be a link in the description here if you want to jump on a quick call and see if we can help get your brand to the same level. Not all brands are positioned to actually get to this level, so making sure that we have the right foundation before we work together is really key to make sure that if you are to work with us, we continue to have a high success rate with the brands that we work with. But ultimately, you continue to grow your brand as well. Once again, thank you for joining us. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please shoot me a message.